guys, welcome to Everglades Classroom. I'm Miss Christina, and today we're going to make a habitat chain, like this one here. So what are 5 things that you guys can think of that every animal needs to survive? You guys can pause and think about it a little bit. So every animal needs to survive food, water, shelter, air, and space. So today we're going to make an Everglades habitat chain, and you're going to need 5 pieces of paper. You guys can use colorful paper like I'm using, or just the same color paper all the way through. You're going to need markers, and you're going to need scissors and tape. So let's get started. So first, you guys are going to cut about an inch long strips, or inch wide strips. You're going to need 5 of those. So we're going to cut 5 strips about this wide and this long. And we are going to start labeling them. So if you guys remember, the first thing that every animal needs is food. So I want you guys to think about your favorite Everglades animal. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples. So we have the gray squirrel, seen here. We have the bobcat, and we have the otter. And my personal favorite Everglades animal is the alligator. You can see the alligator with its little babies on its back. So the alligator has very, very sharp teeth that you guys can see all along its mouth. What do you guys think this animal eats based on its teeth? Very, very sharp teeth. So the alligator is a carnivore, which means that it eats only meat, and its favorite food is fish. So on our first strip, we're going to label food nice and big so we can remember that this strip is what our animal eats, and we're going to draw what our animal eats. So like I said, you guys can pick any Everglades animal, maybe one we talked about today, one you saw when you came or on a field trip, or one that you know that lives in the Everglades. And if you need any help figuring out which animals live here, you can ask a teacher. Here's the fish the alligator eats. So that's our first strip. Now we have one of the 5 things down. So the other 4, the next one, is water. Every animal needs water to drink. So we're going to take our next strip and we're going to write water on it in nice big letters, and we're going to draw some fresh water for our animal to drink. So now we have food, water, and next my alligator is going to need some shelter. And something really, really interesting about the shelter that these alligators have is something called an alligator scoot. So this is on their back, and it's kind of like an armor that protects them. So these alligators spend a lot of time swimming through and within sharp, sharp grasses. So this protects them from getting hurt on their back. So nothing can really scrape up against them, and nothing will hurt them on their back. So I'm going to label this next strip shelter, and I'm going to draw those sharp grasses that my alligator might swim through. And I'm going to also draw some logs and some branches. So now we have food, water, and shelter. Next, we have 2 left, and the next one we're going to do is space. So, every animal needs nice open space to build their shelter so that they can have room to find food, water, and of course to build their homes. So, we're going to start by labeling it space. And you guys can draw whatever you guys want on this one. A lot of people draw a map of where their animal might live. I'm just going to draw polka dots on mine to help me remember space. But if you want to draw a map of Florida or a map of the area your animal lives in, more specifically, then you can do that as well. So that's space. And lastly, on our last strip, we're going to draw air. So we're going to, of course, label it nice and big. And every animal in the Everglades, and we also need nice, fresh air to breathe. So I'm going to draw clouds with smiley faces to show that this air is nice and clean and healthy for the animals to breathe. So now we have all 5 of the components our animals need to survive: food, water, shelter, space, and air. So now it's time to form our actual chain. So we're going to start off with food, and we're going to take our chain, make sure that the picture that we drew is facing outwards, and we're going to make a perfect circle like this. And this is where our tape comes in. We're going to take our tape, take a little piece, and tape our circle together so that it looks like this. And we're going to take our next one, so we're going to take our water, and we're going to put it through the circle and tape it. So we have 2 circles. And you're just going to continue doing this with the other 3 strips. Next, I'm going to take shelter, put it through, tape it, and we're going to take space, put it through, and tape it. And then lastly, we're going to take air, put it through, and tape it. So now we have our animal's chain. So now we know that our animal, our Everglades animal, needs food, water, shelter, space, and air. But what would happen if one of our links from our chain got removed? So I want you guys to think of your Everglades animal, your favorite one, and think of what would happen if it didn't rain in their habitat for 100 days. So all of the lakes and all of the rivers dried up. So I'm going to take away the rain or the water link from our chain. And do you guys think that the chain will stay together? Do you think that their habitat will still be safe and healthy? Well, the chain fell apart. So now the habitat is no longer healthy for my alligator to live in. Without one link, the whole chain falls apart. So next we're going to look at what would happen if there was a bunch of litter in a habitat, plastic bottles and plastic bags all in the habitat. And an animal wasn't able to build its shelter. So I'm going to take off the shelter link. And our chain keeps falling apart. Now there's only 3 left. So my alligator would not be very happy in a place where there's only food, space, and air. They don't have any water, they don't have any shelter. So this shows you that an animal needs all 5 components to be happy and to survive. So I'm going to think of a couple things that we can do to put this back together. We can make sure that we pick up our trash and recycle and use reusable things like a reusable plastic bottle or a reusable canteen or a reusable shopping bag instead of the plastic ones. So I'm going to put this shelter one back. because we're going to remember to recycle and we're going to remember to use reusable things. And next, with our water, I'm going to try to think of something that we can do to preserve water. We can make sure that we don't keep our water running when we're brushing our teeth. We turn off our faucet. We can make sure that we don't leave our shower running when we don't need to. There's lots of ways we can preserve water. So I'm going to put the water one back on. And as you guys are putting back on these strips, I want you guys to think about what you guys can do to keep our animals' habitat clean. And then I'm going to put the food one that fell off as well back on. And now our habitat is healthy again. So as you guys complete this and hang this up somewhere that you'll always see it, I want you guys to look at it and remember things that you guys can do to keep your animals' habitat nice and healthy for them. So thank you guys so much for coming to Grassy Waters classroom. I'm Christina. See you guys next time. Bye.